Hello and welcome to Harv's World. Today I want to talk to you about 5 things you need to know before you start playing Farming Simulator. This video is for people who started out like me. I had no experience in real life farming. I had no experience playing any kind of farming simulator before. I just really had a strong desire to learn more about farming and agriculture. Now this is a great game and I can't recommend it enough. But when I started playing 2 months ago, I was completely lost. I couldn't have told you the difference between a bunker silo and a grain silo. I mean, they're both silos, right? I didn't know that a swather and a windrower are the same thing. I knew that cows produce manure, but what the heck is slurry? You get the point. Anyway, there has to be more people out there like me, so I wanted to address some of the things that I've learned over the last 2 months that I've been playing, because I'm still pretty new. But I did want to share what I've learned in that 2-month period and let people know that there's a lot of depth to this game. It's up to you. Frankly, the learning curve can be a little bit steep if you come in like me, and it's pretty easy to look at it, not see it for what it is, get frustrated, and then just quit playing. Hopefully, these 5 tips will help smooth the learning curve a bit and make your path a bit easier than mine. In no particular order, we're going to start with number 5, and I'm calling that the Sandbox. Now, I see Farming Simulator as a sandbox in its most purest form. If you don't know what Sandbox is, it's generally an open world concept. You jump into the world, go play in the sandbox, figure out what you want to do, figure out where you want to go, and play anything you want, however you want. A lot of games that say they're sandbox, they still provide you with some direction. They provide you with a course, they give you missions to play, etc., etc., that still sort of lead you toward the end goal of the game. Farming Simulator does not do that for you. It gives you the tools, it gives you the opportunity, and says go make your own fun. And that's really what Farming Simulator is about, making your own fun. Looking at the world and deciding how you want to play it. There's a lot to learn in Farming Simulator, a lot of different systems that you can take advantage of, but it's up to you once you learn those systems to make your own fun. And what I mean by that is we have equipment. We've got tractors, we've got plows, we've got seeders, we've got trailers, we've got harvesters, forage harvesters. How are you going to use that equipment? What are you going to do? Are you focused on making money? Are you focused on land ownership? Are you focused on animal husbandry? Do you want to be a dairy farmer, cattle farmer, chicken rancher? And what is your end goal? That end goal is completely up to you because Farming Simulator doesn't have one. You can jump on a map and play forever. Same map and just keep going and going and going. There is no end game. It's whatever you decide your ultimate goal is. You know, if we just look at a map, and this is Ravenport, the first map you're most likely to start on. We've got some fields. All of these different spots are fields you can jump into. You can buy if you want to. You start with certain fields down in this corner in particular. If you're on New Farmer, which you probably are, if you're watching this video, you're going to be a brand new farmer. You're going to start down here with a little bit of equipment. They're small. Look at the size of field 8 compared to the fields you get down here. They're nothing in comparison. So it's up to you to decide, do I just want this small farm and I'm going to kind of stick with that? Or am I going to build up this farm and get out here and take over field 8? What do I need to take over field 8? Because, you know, I've got the equipment to manage these little fields, but field 8, I don't think my tiny equipment down here is going to help field 8 very much. Or I can do field 8 with that tiny equipment, but it's going to take me days and days and days. And that's where your opportunities lie. You know, they give you sell points. Right here we've got the spinnery. If you want to raise sheep, you can sell your wool right here at the spinnery. But you have to raise the sheep and gather the wool first. They're just giving you a place to sell it. It's up to you to create that. Biomass heating plant. I had no idea what a biomass heating plant was. I didn't know it was a good money-making opportunity. I didn't know that in order to use a biomass heating plant, I had to buy the plot of land first. These are all little things that the game doesn't tell you. You kind of have to learn on your own to create that experience for yourself, to make up your own mind what direction you want to take your farm, what direction you want to take your gaming experience. The two maps that you start out with in the game, they're good maps, they're fun to play, but there are other maps out there that provide even more options for you, and we're going to talk about those in just a little bit. The fourth point I want to talk about is farming equipment. Farming Simulator gives you hundreds of options when it comes to farm equipment. Tractors, harvesters, spreaders, trailers, trucks, you name it, Farming Simulator has it. There's nothing they don't provide you with. We have right here a harvester, we've got a tractor, we have a sprayer, we've got trailer, we've got a spreader, we've got a seed drill, we've got fertilizer tanks, we've got a stump grinder, we've got a plow. Equipment. If you don't know farm equipment, if you weren't raised on a farm or have experience in some agriculture, do some research. Learn your farm equipment, learn what the purpose of it is, learn what it does. Now that's part of the fun of playing the game. You get in, you see something you don't know what it does, buy it, hook up to it, go figure out what it does. What's the difference between a tedder and a windrower? What's the purpose of each one? If you don't know these things, it's a good idea to educate yourself a little bit. Now, you can get into the game, you can find that piece of equipment, or find a job that you want to do and you're not sure how to do it, then you can do your research. Either way, it's still a good idea to go out, find some information. I'm going to put a link to a nice site that gives a basic rundown of different types of farm equipment and what they're for. I'll put that in the description down below. Number 3, farm terminology. A lot of words get bandied around in this game. Silage, slurry, drill, furrow, windrow. What are those things? What do those words mean? I can't recommend strongly enough that you go out, find some information, find a good website where you can look up terms really quickly and figure out exactly what they're talking about. I will actually put a link in the description below to a good farm terminology website. Have that at your disposal because things are going to crop up from time to time, no pun intended, that you just don't know what they're talking about, and it's going to be much easier for you if you have quick reference to that. Number 2 is YouTube. Now obviously, if you're watching this video, you know about YouTube and you know that there's information out there about Farming Simulator 19 and other versions. I can't recommend YouTube enough for learning about this game, learning about what to do, how to play, and ways that you can create your own fun. Now, the people that I watch are Mr. Silly P, Daggerwin, and Jim Bob Plays Games. Those guys are fantastic. They've played the game since some as old as Farming Simulator 11. They know the ins and outs backwards and forwards. They're constantly checking their information, doing videos on updates and new maps that are coming out and things like that. But not only that, they have great gameplay, and if you watch them you can learn so much about what your equipment is capable of, new equipment that you can use, and ways that you can put pieces of equipment together that you may not have considered. The number 1 item I want to discuss is mods. Now, when I started gaming so many more years ago than I even like to think about, mods were something that hackers did to alter a game in a goofy way. They were not beneficial, and a lot of times you avoided them simply because you were afraid of getting a virus. However, In Farming Simulator 19, that is no longer the case, and in fact, mods make up a huge portion of this game. If you're not using mods, if you haven't discovered mods, get out there and find them, because the mods expand this game exponentially. It's amazing what the mod makers are capable of in this game, and better still, Giants, the people who make Farming Simulator, fully support the mod makers and incorporate them directly into the game. If we look at our current store, we've got just in small tractors alone, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe what, a dozen small tractors. Now if we go out of our game, looking at the startup menu, we can see there's a link to mods. Right here we go in, we'll look at our small tractors, and now we've got dozens of small tractors that we can add to our game. Literally dozens that you can put in there and play with to your heart's content, and these are being updated daily. In fact, this Fendt 4S right here, this was just added today. So this game is not going anywhere soon, and it's changing on a daily basis. Beyond small tractors, if we look at our maps, these are all maps created by the mod makers out there. These are not created by Giants. And now, instead of the 2 maps the game comes with, we have got dozens of places to go and look at and play on at our fingertips. The mod makers are out there, they're working hard, they've done some amazing things. They're programming, they're modeling, they're adding new crop types, new locations, so many new things. A lot of these mod makers, map makers, are really creative. One in particular, probably the best known, is Alien Jim. 2 maps of his right here, Washoe, Nevada and Sussex Farms. Alien Jim is known for adding a lot of different gameplay options to his maps. Another big one is Oxygen David. He's got a lot. Yep, Shamrock Valley right here. That's Oxygen David. So the mods add so much to the game, and we can see, there's a gameplay section here, things that change your gameplay. And one that I'm going to focus on here real quick is called Seasons. And let me just search that up real quick. Right here, Seasons. Seasons completely changes the way you play the game. I don't recommend this for beginners. Obviously you're new, but once you get a couple of maps under your belt, Seasons is a really nice change of pace. It quite literally takes the farming experience from a day-to-day, the way the game is originally released, to a seasonal gameplay. You've got spring, summer, fall, and winter, and all of the different challenges that come with running a farm during those different seasons. Completely changes the game. So many options in mods. Mods are a huge part of the game. Get out there and use them. It's expected. Giant supports it, and obviously, they are including these mods directly in the game, giving you access to them to download and play with. There you have it, my 5 tips that hopefully will help ease your way into Farming Simulator 19. Most of it's common sense, obviously, but I'm coming from a place not too far removed from where you're at, and I thought that it might be helpful for a new player to share his experiences with you, and with a little luck, that will make your life playing Farming Simulator that much easier and that much more enjoyable. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you would click the like and subscribe buttons down below. And until next time, take care.